Wagwan, what is going on? So apparently you don't have the time. You don't have the time to make something of yourself, to start earning 10K a month, to start actually creating a life of freedom, time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom. You don't have the time. Or you got to work 2 jobs, you got to work 1 job, you're a tradie, you're working flat out. You don't have the time to start a side hustle, start a business, start something on the side. You're lying to yourself, buddy. Now in this video, I'm going to explain to you why I don't have the time is a bullshit excuse. I won't accept it, and why you shouldn't accept it from yourself. Now, first of all, why on earth should you listen to some lanky blonde dude that says, oh, you don't have the time? Because I've been there. I've been in that mindset. I've been deep in that mindset. And now, fortunately, I'm now making 10, 20, 30K a month. I have the freedom to sort of go where I want, do what I want. And I've worked fucking labor jobs. I've been a tradie. I've had a pretty mundane life up until now. And I finally found the time and I got over that little speed bump. And now I'm here and I help people do the same. And I'm going to explain to you how the fuck you can do it. And second of all, how to stop this limiting belief of you don't have time. Because it's a lie, brother. Now, straight out of high school, I was working regular casual jobs, a bit of a degenerate partying like you always do. I moved to the other side of Australia to get away from the party scene. I actually got a university degree that I've never used. It was a pretty fucking easy degree, and I could not get any jobs in the domain of the degree that I studied in, which was communications. And I ended up just getting labor work, delivering mattresses. I ended up working in retail for a few years. And I just knew this wasn't for me. I started a uni degree because I knew that I wanted more out of life, and I knew that I had half a brain on me, and I didn't want to be on a job site digging holes. I didn't want to be stuck on a shop floor. I knew I wanted to use my brain, whether it be in a cubicle or doing something creative. I wanted to be in an office. I wanted to earn decent money, so I went down the university degree route. And I always had that mindset of I wanted something extra for myself. I didn't just want to live like a mundane, ordinary life. So got the university degree, found no jobs in my domain, still didn't really know what I wanted to do after my university degree. So that's how I ended up doing labor jobs and working in retail, right? But while I was working in these retail and labor jobs, I knew that I needed to get out of this. I knew that this wasn't for me. But, we'll talk about the retail job because that was the last job that I was working in before I actually got out and started working online. So while I was working this retail job, I was on casual wage, working full-time hours. What that means was I was earning good money. I was on casual wages, but I was working like flat stick. I was working 5-6 days a week, which I was actually earning pretty good money for working casual, but I essentially had no time. I was waking up, I was going in 8, 9 a.m., finishing at 5, 6 p.m. And that was most of the days of the week. And then the days that I wasn't working, I was down the beach, I was surfing, I was going to the gym, I was partying, I was hungover. I did not have the time to do anything else, but I still knew this wasn't for me. And it was about 2 years ago where I started doing the typical research mode on your computer. Best paying remote jobs 2023, or highest paying jobs I can do from my laptop right now, or how to make money from my phone 2023, all those search terms. And I was always doing this. I was always searching up these side hustles, trying to learn these side hustles. Got scammed out of a dropshipping course, learned SMMA, all the basics, and realized it was bullshit. And I was just trying to find these side hustles because I knew I wanted something more. But my limiting belief was I have no time. I would sit there, maybe be super motivated one night. I'd have this burst of motivation, sit there at the computer and I'd study and I'd learn dropshipping or SMMA for 2 hours, and I'd be like, oh, I'm getting the hang of it. And then I'd wake up tomorrow, go to work, and get home after knocking off and just be too tired and be watching a movie with my roommate, or I'd want to go out and have some beers down the pub that night. And I never had the time to actually figure out what I wanted to do or actually learn these skills. But I'm going to tell you something, no time is just code for this is not a priority. Because if someone offered you 10K to sit there through a 60-minute call, you'd do that shit in a heartbeat. So it's not about the time, it's about the value. Time is never really the issue. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. You're just choosing to spend it elsewhere, and that's fine, but that's your fault. Because I'm telling you, if you don't make time now, your life won't slow down in a month. If you want to change your situation, you have to create the time, not just wait for it. Now, I guarantee you already waste so many hours in a day on Netflix, scrolling through Instagram. And if you're in denial right now, check your screen time and come back to me. Now, when I said I don't have time, it's just code for this is not a priority. You're pretty much just saying to yourself, this does not feel important enough to act on. Because as I said before, if someone offered you $10,000 to sit through a 60-minute call, you'd do it in an absolute heartbeat. And that's essentially what you could be doing with your time. I now make over $10,000 a month right now. And if I could fast forward, put myself in my shoes now, I would tell myself, buddy, you sit in front of that computer for 60 minutes a day and you learn these skills and you will make $10,000 a month. And if I knew that and I trusted myself, and if I knew that, I'd be like, shit, I'm just going to sit down every night for an hour, learn these skills, because Future Fletch told me in a couple months I'd be making 10K by doing this. I'd 100% be doing that. It's not an issue of how many hours in the day. It's about how you rank what matters. And if freedom, money, and options aren't high on that list, then you're just never going to have time for all this online stuff. As I said, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. The busiest people and the most successful people, they always find time to build something. And look, maybe it's deeper, maybe it comes down to you not wanting to be uncomfortable or trying something new. But as that quote goes, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. If you want a life of freedom, options, and just like general happiness, you've got to do things you haven't been doing for the last 2, 3, 4 years. And I touched on this before, but a hard truth is your life won't slow down next month. You have to make time now. The idea that your life will calm down or you'll have time or you'll be on holidays next month is such a myth. It's genuinely just a lie you tell yourself to avoid taking action. There's always going to be work, there's always going to be relationships, there's always going to be problems. Waiting for the perfect time is how people waste years and end up resentful. If you've ever worked on a job site or even in retail or even just a regular job, you look at the old boys on site, for example, and they're old, they got crook backs, they're always complaining, they're never smiling. You look at those as a younger lad or younger female and go, I'm never going to be like these oldies. I'm going to make it. I'm not going to be fucking 60 on the job site with a crook back just sooking all the time. And the funny thing is, I guarantee you those old boys that you're looking at once said that about the old boys they saw 10, 20, 30 years ago. You either make time or you get stuck in this loop of just waiting. Now pause this video right now, go on your screen time and tell yourself how long you're actually spending on Netflix, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Most people could carve out 1 to 2 hours a day if they stopped doing pointless shit. And those 90 minutes that you don't have because you're so busy is what other people are using to change their life completely. As I said before, when I finally stopped looking into all the dropshipping, copywriting, all those bullshit fad words, and I finally found what worked, which is learning remote skills, I put in 1 hour per day. I was actually working 2 jobs. I was working in retail and I was running a small clothing brand. And all I did was put in 1 hour per day, not even on weekends. I was probably hungover or working, but I put in 1 hour a day. And I learnt these skills. In a few months, I hit my first $10,000 month. And when I saw the money trickling in, I did start to put more and more work in throughout the day. But for the first few weeks, I was genuinely just putting in 1 hour every single afternoon after work. And I'm telling you, if you're broke and you seem busy, that's a fucking trap. You should be busy and building, or busy with money, or busy and actually having some momentum in your life, not just broke and busy and in a fucking rut. You're essentially too busy to fix the problem that's keeping you busy. Now look, it definitely wasn't easy. I hated knocking off work and sitting in front of the computer for an hour feeling like a zombie maybe after a big weekend. But it was so much easier than staying broke, living paycheck to paycheck for another year. Anyone who's built something substantial, whether it be online skills, a personal brand, clothing business, just any personal business, had to do it while juggling life. The difference is they didn't wait for it to be convenient, they just hacked at it. One thing that I gained immense value from was getting mentors as soon as I entered the online space. And what they told me has stuck with me to this day and implemented across every aspect of my life is the difference between successful people and the people that stay stuck in the same place is how quickly someone takes action. Every decision I make right now, I take action almost immediately. Even though that action might not be perfect because I've acted on it quickly, that person that acts on the idea, the decision at the fastest rate will always be more successful than that perfectionist or that person that stays in that, oh, I'll do it later cycle. Urgency is what separates the doers from the watchers and the broke from the successful. I've seen so many people enter the space, learn the skills, and have made and replaced their income within 30 to 60 days. And others keep saying, I'll do it soon for the next 3 years. The cost of waiting is invisible, but it adds up over time. And trust me, it's this subconscious burden that just weighs on your shoulders. You lose your confidence, you become more anxious. The distance between you and the best, highest version of yourself just keeps growing and growing. And the furthest you get from the best version of yourself, the more anxious and the more angry you become in everyday life. So I'm gonna finish with this. You don't need more hours, you just need better priorities. You'll either make time now or keep wasting years for the perfect moment. And let me tell you, that shit will never come. Because success doesn't come when it's convenient. It comes when you realize the cost of staying in the same place for the next few years. 1 hour a day, I guarantee 1 hour a day to start with, buddy. That's all you need. And I guarantee you, when you see that money start to come in, when you start getting your priorities right, you're gonna start investing more time and you're gonna actually finally build something for yourself and a life of freedom that you've only envied from other people. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about what I do, how you can learn the skills that have got me working from my phone and my laptop, earning pretty good money remote, then shoot me a message on my socials or book a call with my team down below. We can have a conversation, see if we can get you learning these skills that can actually give you a life of fucking freedom. Anyway, thanks for listening, but don't ever come at me with that I don't have time bullshit anymore, because you do, buddy. Trust me.